Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I just got back from the desert, and let me tell you, SHOT Show 2026 has absolutely set the firearms world on fire. We aren't just looking at minor iterative updates this year, we are talking about a total shift in how these manufacturers are viewing concealment and duty performance. The chaos on the floor was unlike anything I have seen in over a decade. We are seeing a massive surge in demand where several of the models on my table today were actually flagged as sold out before the first retail shipment even hit the truck. I've spent some quality time behind the trigger of these new releases to see what's hype and what's hardware. Dealers are currently getting slammed with angry phone calls from guys stuck on 1,000-person waiting lists, and once you see the ballistics and the engineering behind my number one pick, you'll understand exactly why collectors are maxing out their credit cards right now. I've expanded this list to a top 12 to make sure we cover the real innovators that are changing the game. Let's get into the brass tacks. Number 12, Tisas PX9 Carry Gen 3. Kicking things off at number 12 is a piece that proves Turkish manufacturing is no longer just the budget-friendly alternative, it is a legitimate threat to the old-school European brands. The Tisas PX9 Carry Generation 3 is a striker-fired powerhouse that is punchy, reliable, and honestly, over-engineered for its price point. Technically speaking, this is built on a rock-solid polymer frame with a 3.5-inch button-rifled barrel that delivers surprisingly tight groupings at 25 yards. One of the biggest technical wins here is the magazine compatibility. It utilizes the SIG P228 pattern, meaning you can find high-quality steel mags just about anywhere. But the Gen 3 goes a step further by accepting the larger mags from the full-size PX9 Duty, giving you a massive reserve of rounds in a compact footprint. However, you have to keep a few things in mind before you lay your money down. There is still an import stigma attached to Turkish brands that might concern purists worried about long-term support. And while the polymer is durable, the frame texture feels a bit less refined compared to a premium $1,000 competition piece. You also have to consider that because the price is so aggressive, these don't tend to hold their resale value as well as a Glock or an FN. Plus, keep in mind that the slide and magazine springs are incredibly tight out of the box, so you're going to need a solid 200-round break-in period before this thing really starts to sing. Maximum $400. Number 11, Derya DY9. Coming in at number 11 is a pistol that has been making massive waves across multiple continents under a few different names, and it is finally getting the attention it deserves here in the States. The Derya DY9 is a Turkish-made 9mm that might look like a standard striker-fired polymer gun at first glance, but under the hood, it's a whole different animal. While it is built on Glock 19 internals, which gives you immediate peace of mind for reliability, the real engineering marvel is the island barrel and slide design. This is the kind of high-end feature you normally only see on custom-shop double-stack 1911s that cost $4 grand. The way this works is that a portion of the barrel sits exposed within a specific cutout in the slide, which fundamentally changes how the reciprocating mass moves during the firing cycle. By reducing that slide weight and venting gas upward through ports in that island barrel, Derya has managed to slash muzzle rise by 25% and felt recoil by about 12% compared to a standard Glock 19. It's got a 3.86-inch barrel with a black melanite finish that is basically immune to corrosion. And the whole package mirrors the Glock 19 dimensions almost exactly, coming in at 6.9 inches long and just over an inch wide. The biggest reason to put this in your holster is that competition-grade performance. Those ports do a phenomenal job of keeping the muzzle flat, making it incredibly easy for regular shooters to get back on target for those follow-up shots. Since it's compatible with Glock 19 parts, you have a massive safety net for maintenance. And the factory optics cut for RMR footprint sights means you aren't spending extra money at a machine shop. Plus, that melanite finish is tough as nails for daily carry. $599. Number 10, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus X. At number 10, we have a name everyone knows, but with a serious X factor added. Smith & Wesson decided to take their legendary Shield platform and crank it up several notches with the M&P Shield Plus X. They didn't just slap a new label on it, they actually listened to the guys who carry every day and want a bit more gun in their micro compact. They stretched the barrel out to 3.6 inches, which gives you a longer sight radius and a bit more velocity out of your defensive rounds. The beauty of this setup is how it points. Your hand sits higher on the frame, closer to the bore axis, which naturally helps you manage muzzle flip when you're dumping the magazine. The grip texture is that perfect middle ground. It's aggressive enough to stay locked in your palm when your hands are sweaty, but it won't tear up your skin or snag on your clothes during a long day of carrying. You're also getting a factory cut slide for small red dot sights, which used to be a $300 custom job. Now, on the flip side, you have to remember that this X version is slightly larger than the original Shield, so if you are used to a true pocket pistol, you'll notice the extra bulk. That grip texture can also feel a little bit rough if you have sensitive skin, at least until you get it broken in. It's also noticeably heavier than those featherweight polymer pocket guns, and if you choose to run the extended magazines for even more capacity, you're definitely going to sacrifice a bit of that deep concealability. $599. Number 9. Sig Sauer P320 MOD. Coming in at number 9, we have a pistol that takes the modularity Sig is famous for and pushes it into the stratosphere. The Sig Sauer P320 MOD wasn't just dreamed up in a boardroom. It was designed alongside Max Michel, a guy who literally wins world-class shooting competitions for a living. When you see his name attached to a project, you know the ergonomics and the timing of the action are going to be tuned to perfection. The defining technical feature of this build is the integrated expansion chamber, or compensator, that is machined directly into the slide and barrel assembly. By cutting ports into the metal that vent high-pressure gases upward the moment the bullet leaves the crown, SIG has effectively neutralized muzzle flip. This allows you to track your sights through the entire recoil cycle, making fast follow-up shots feel almost like you're shooting a rimfire. It sports a 3.9-inch barrel, and the frame is wrapped in a specialized high-traction grip tape that ensures the gun stays glued to your hand even in the most humid conditions. However, you do have to weigh those pros against a few practical realities. This is a big, heavy gun compared to your standard compact, and that compensator adds some noticeable length to the overall profile. Those gas ports are great for performance, but they also mean you'll be spending more time cleaning carbon buildup out of the slide. It might be a bit too tactical or bulky for some people's daily carry needs, and the price tag is definitely going to sit north of that $1,000 mark. Over $1,000. Number 8. Springfield Armory Echelon 4.0 C-Comp. At number 8, we have a piece from Springfield Armory that has been shocking everyone since the Echelon platform first dropped. This new Echelon 4.0 C-Comp takes that full-size duty DNA and shrinks it down into a more carry-friendly package while adding a built-in compensator right at the front of the slide. This single-port design is engineered to vent gas upward to keep your muzzle flat without adding the massive bulk of a traditional screw-on comp. They even had the foresight to position the front sight behind the port so your sight picture stays clear of any carbon blast. Technically, this gun is a tank. It features a 4-inch hammer-forged barrel, which is built to withstand tens of thousands of rounds without a loss in accuracy. But the real genius here is the Serialized Central Operating Group, or COG. This is the actual firearm part of the gun, and it allows you to swap the entire internal chassis between small, medium, and large grip frames in a matter of seconds. It ships with the small grip and 3 different back straps, so whether you have hands like a giant or something more compact, you can get a custom fit. The big draw for the Echelon is the variable interface system, which lets you mount almost any red dot on the market directly to the slide without using those annoying adapter plates. It's only 1.2 inches wide and weighs 24 ounces, which is impressive for a gun that holds 15 rounds in the magazine. It simply shoots softer and flatter than any uncompensated compact I've tested recently. On the downside, that compensator does shift the weight slightly toward the front of the gun, which might feel a bit different if you're used to a standard balance. Like any ported firearm, you're going to have a more intensive maintenance schedule to keep those vents clear, and it is still a bit longer than a traditional subcompact. Since the platform is still relatively new, the aftermarket support for holsters and custom parts isn't quite as deep as what you'd find for a Glock or a SIG yet. $749. Number 7. Shadow Systems CR920XL. Coming in at number 7 is a pistol from a company that has built its entire reputation on taking proven platforms and pushing them to their absolute limit. The Shadow Systems CR920XL is the result of what happens when veterans and law enforcement officers in Texas decide that good enough isn't an option for a carry gun. They took their micro-compact DNA and stretched it out into a subcompact powerhouse featuring a 4.2-inch match-grade barrel. This extra length isn't just about getting a few more feet per second in muzzle velocity, it is about slide timing. By increasing the reciprocating mass slightly and lengthening the recoil spring stroke, they've made this one of the smoothest shooting small guns I've ever put my hands on. Technically, the CR920XL is a beast of burden. It is designed to cycle everything from the cheapest steel-cased range floor sweepings to the most expensive +P defensive hollow points without a single hiccup. Even with a red dot mounted on their patented multi-footprint slide cut, the whole package stays under 7.5 inches in total length and weighs in at a mere 19.5 ounces. The real magic, though, is the engineering in the magazine. You get a 15-round capacity in a magazine that sits completely flush with the grip. And if you want to go full duty mode, you can slap in the extended mag for 18 rounds of 9mm firepower. You're going to love this gun if you prioritize a rock-solid grip and precision accuracy. The match-grade barrel ensures your groupings stay tight even at extended distances, and the aggressive frame texture keeps the gun locked into your palm during rapid strings of fire. It's designed by people who actually shoot for a living, and it shows in the details, like the flat-face trigger that breaks at a crisp 4.5 pounds, $975. Number 6. Sig Sauer P36 5-Fuse. At number 6, we have a pistol that is officially deleting the line between a concealment gun and a duty gun, the SIG Sauer P365 Fuse. This is SIG's answer for the shooter who wants the accuracy and sight radius of a full-size pistol but needs it to be thin enough to carry in a pair of jeans. They took the ultra-slim P365 chassis and mated it to a 4.3-inch barrel and slide assembly. The result is a handgun that offers the ballistic performance of a much larger weapon while maintaining that legendary 1-inch wide profile. Mechanical efficiency is the name of the game here. The Fuse utilizes the LXG grip module, which features a specialized laser-engraved texture that provides a level of friction that feels almost like stippling. This long slide, slim frame combo gives you a massive advantage in tracking your sights, as the longer sight radius makes it much easier to call your shots at 25 yards. But the real headline is the capacity. This slimline monster ships with magazines that hold 17 and even 21 rounds, which honestly makes you wonder why anyone still carries a bulky double stack. The pros for the Fuse are pretty obvious once you get it on the range. You're getting the shootability of a full-size duty gun in a package that won't print through a t-shirt, the flat-face trigger provides a consistent, predictable break, and the slide comes factory cut for optics, allowing you to sit a red dot extremely low for a natural point of aim. It's essentially a do-it-all pistol that works just as well on your nightstand as it does in an appendix holster. Around $850. Number 5. Walther PDP Pro SD. Coming in at number 5 is a pistol that has quickly become the benchmark for what a factory striker-fired trigger should feel like. The Walther PDP Pro SD is the high-performance evolution of their performance duty pistol, and it is a masterpiece of German engineering. The SD stands for Schalldämpfer, which is just a fancy German way of saying this thing is suppressor ready. It features a 4.6-inch threaded barrel and a compact size frame that feels like it was custom molded to the human hand. The standout technical feature here is the dynamic performance trigger. This isn't just a slight upgrade, it's a total overhaul of the sear geometry and trigger shoe, resulting in a flat face break that is so crisp, it almost feels like a single action glass rod snapping. Walther also integrated their performance duty texture on the grip, which uses a tetrahedron design that provides incredible friction without being abrasive against your skin. The slide is deeply milled with what they call super terrain serrations, which actually protrude above the surface of the slide to give you maximum leverage when racking the gun, especially if you're wearing gloves or your hands are covered in mud. It ships with an aluminum flared magwell and 3 18-round magazines that feature aluminum base pads, giving you plenty of weight to help those mags drop free during a high-speed transition. Around $829. Number 4. Canik TTI Combat. At number 4, we have a collaboration that has the entire industry talking. Canik teamed up with the legendary Terran Butler of Terran Tactical Innovations to create the Canik TTI Combat. If you've seen the John Wick movies, you know Terran's style. Fast, flat, and flashy. This isn't just a cosmetic package, it's a ground-up performance build. It features a 4.6-inch ported barrel and a unique compensator that is designed to be removed without any tools, which is a massive win for maintenance. The slide is finished in a beautiful hive-pattern bronze finish that looks like it belongs in a high-end collection. Technically, the TTI Combat is built to go fast. It utilizes a newly designed trigger that breaks at a very light weight with an incredibly short reset. The grip features a unique TTI aggressive texture that was specifically requested by Terran himself to ensure the gun never moves, no matter how fast you're pushing it. They've also included an optics-ready slide with a very low-profile cut, allowing your red dot to sit closer to the bore axis for better natural point of aim. It comes in a custom hard case with 2 magazines, one holding 18 rounds and the other holding 21, plus a custom TTI branded holster. The biggest pro for the TTI Combat is the flat shooting nature of the gun. That compensator and the slide porting work in perfect harmony to keep the muzzle from rising, making you feel like a much better shooter than you probably are. You're getting a John Wick level custom gun for a fraction of the cost of a hand-fitted 2011. The inclusion of the toolless compensator and the high-capacity mags makes it one of the best values in the performance handgun category this year. $949. Number 3. Canik Meta MC9. Coming in at number 3 is a pistol that has been absolutely dominating the micro-compact conversation, the Canik Midi MC9. Now, don't let the budget label fool you. This Turkish-made 9mm is a precision instrument designed to outperform guns that cost twice as much. Technically, it is a marvel of efficiency, featuring a 3.18-inch barrel and a specialized ultra-thin frame that measures just over 1 inch wide. The real genius here is the internal geometry that allows it to hold 12+1 rounds in a flush magazine, or 15+1 with the extended base pad, all while maintaining a footprint that disappears in a standard IWB holster. The absolute standout feature of the MC9 is the trigger. It is a flat-faced, striker-fired unit that breaks at a crisp 4.5 to 5 pounds with a reset that is shorter and more tactile than almost anything in the subcompact category. Canik also included a co-witness optics-ready slide cut that accepts Shield RMSC footprint optics, and unlike many competitors, it allows you to keep your factory white dot front and blackout rear sights visible through the glass. The grip features an ergonomically redesigned beaver tail and aggressive stippling in all the right places to ensure that even with its small size, the gun stays glued to your hand during rapid-fire drills. You're going to want the MC9 because it offers a go-fast shooting experience in a carry-everywhere package. It ships as a complete kit with a reversible holster, 3 different back straps, and a full tool kit, making it arguably the best value on this entire list. The accuracy is phenomenal for such a short barrel, and the controls like the ambidextrous slide stop and reversible mag catch are smoothed out for high-speed operation. However, keep in mind that the small frame can feel a bit chunky or cramped if you have hands like a grizzly bear, which might push your fingers up into the trigger guard more than you'd like. While it's generally reliable, some shooters have noted a break-in period is necessary, particularly if you're running lighter 115 grain practice ammo instead of standard 124 grain NATO rounds. Also, the slide-mounted loaded chamber indicator is a great safety feature, but it's one more mechanical part to keep clean if you're shooting high volumes of dirty practice brass. Around $450. Number 2. Glock 918X MOS. Sitting firmly at number 2 is the evolution of a modern legend, the Glock 19X MOS. This is the crossover pistol that finally gives civilian shooters and tactical professionals exactly what they've been asking for since the original coyote-colored 19X dropped. It utilizes the full-size frame of the Glock 17 for a rock-solid, recoil-controlling grip, but mates it to the shorter, faster-handling slide of the Glock 19. This specific MOS version features a 4.52-inch threaded barrel, making it suppressor or compensator ready right out of the box, and it comes factory finished in that iconic diamond hard coyote NPVD coating. Technically, this is a Gen 5 powerhouse, meaning it features the Glock marksman barrel with updated hexagonal rifling for better accuracy and a recessed crown to protect that rifling from field abuse. The modular optics system on the slide allows you to bolt on almost any miniature reflex sight, and Glock included tall suppressor height night sights as standard, so you can still use your irons even with a red dot or a can installed. It feeds from a massive 17-round flush magazine, but also ships with 2 19-round extended mags, giving you a staggering reservoir of fun before you have to hit the release. The primary reason to put the 19X MOS on your belt is the sheer reliability and pointability of the platform. By removing the finger grooves and adding a generous undercut to the trigger guard, Glock has created a grip that accommodates hands of all sizes while allowing for a very high recoil-controlling grasp. The shorter slide index is faster when you're moving between targets or clearing a room, and the ambidextrous slide stop and reversible mag catch make it a true southpaw-friendly tactical tool. On the flip side, you have to remember the Glock tax and a few legacy design quirks. That unique lip on the bottom of the 19X frame means it won't accept standard Gen 5 17-round mags. You're stuck with 19X specific or older generation magazines. While the Gen 5 trigger is a marked improvement over previous versions, it still has that signature plastic take-up that some shooters find underwhelming compared to a crisp 1911 style break. And let's be real, with that threaded barrel and full-sized grip, this is a big, long-profile gun that is going to take some dedicated work and a high-quality holster to successfully conceal around $700. Number 1. Staccato CS. And finally, the number 1 spot goes to the gun that is currently the crown jewel of the high-end carry market, the Staccato CS. This is a compact, double-stack 2011 that is built with zero compromises. It utilizes a 3.5-inch fluted bull barrel that is designed to dissipate heat rapidly, maintaining accuracy even during high-volume strings of fire. Staccato managed to pack 15+1 rounds into a dedicated 9mm magazine that is slimmer than anything they've produced before, keeping the grip width at a very manageable 1.2 inches. Technically, this gun is a marvel of American ingenuity. It features the Flattech two-piece design, combining a 7075 aluminum frame with a polymer grip module to drastically soak up felt recoil. The recoil system is a toolless, fully captive Dawson precision design that makes maintenance a breeze compared to old-school 1911s. But the real star is that single-action trigger, which breaks at a crisp 4 to 4.5 pounds with almost zero overtravel. If you have the budget, this is easy mode for shooting. It offers competition-level accuracy and a trigger that makes every other gun on this list feel like a toy. It's small enough to conceal under a light shirt, but shoots with the stability and speed of a full-size race gun. The level of fit and finish here is exemplary. Every part is hand-assembled and tuned by a master gunsmith to ensure it runs like a clock. $2,499. There you have it, 12 of the most unbelievable handguns that are defining the market this year. Whether you're looking for a budget-friendly workhorse or a high-end masterpiece, the innovation we're seeing right now is just incredible. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay sharp,